Welcome to the Deep Dive. So, if you're thinking about a trip to Dubrovnik, well, you're heading into a city that's, let's say, very popular right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's dealing with this incredible surge, isn't it? You've got the cruise ships, the Game of Thrones effect is still going strong, plus all these new flight routes opening up.
Exactly. It means figuring out where to stay, your base camp, is more crucial than ever.
Spot on. And our sources, they give us a really solid map, actually, for making that key decision.
Right. So our mission today is simple. Cut through all that noise. We're going to tackle the one big question every visitor has. Stay inside the famous city walls or stay outside.
That's the fundamental choice, yeah.
And then we'll explore the personality of different areas, highlight some top places to stay, and really get into the unique historical details and quirks that make them special.
It really boils down to that core tension, doesn't it? Do you want that full-on historic immersion, pedestrian streets, ancient stones, right in the thick of it?
The Old Town experience.
Or do you prefer something maybe a bit quieter, leafier? The coastal areas, maybe a resort feel.
Okay, let's unpack that first option then. Staying inside the walls. Choosing this means, you're literally sleeping inside history, right?
Pretty much. It's like a living museum. You're wandering through these narrow limestone streets, these old palaces converted into hotels, little boutique places tucked away. And the walls themselves, they tell stories.
You can feel the layers of time, Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, all crammed together.
And it's resilient history, too. The sources really emphasize this. This place has survived wars, fires, massive earthquakes. You see the scars.
So you get incredible period charm, definitely. But the flip side is
the crowds and potentially noise. You're right in the heart of the action, which is amazing, but you have to accept that comes with, lots of people, especially in peak season.
That's a trade-off, yeah. Okay, so what about option 2? Staying outside the walls. How does that feel different?
It's generally a much quieter experience. More space, greener surroundings. Think Lapad Peninsula. That's where a lot of the larger, more modern hotels are clustered.
Seems more spread out.
Exactly. And it's great if you love nature. You've got forests nearby, hiking trails, those incredible emerald waters the Adriatic is famous for.
And the big one for many people, beach access.
That's often the clincher, yeah. Many of the coastal resorts have their own private beach access or are very close to public beaches, something the Old Town it can't offer that.
Makes sense. Okay, before we get into specific hotels, let's talk timing, because those crowds are a real factor. How do you dodge the worst of it?
The advice is pretty clear across the board. Aim for spring or autumn if you can.
Shoulder seasons.
Right. The streets are definitely quieter then. The sea is often still warm enough for a swim, which is lovely. And exploring the Old Town is just much more comfortable without that intense summer heat.
But there was something really interesting in the sources about winter, mentioning the city's original visitors.
Ah, yes. That's fascinating. It flips the script entirely. The sources point out that back in the day, like late 19th century, Dubrovnik was actually a winter destination for the well-heeled.
Really? Winter?
Yeah, people would arrive by steamship. They were looking for a milder climate, a bit of culture away from harsher northern winters. So visiting in winter now means you kind of experience the city like those early luxury travelers did. It's apparently very cozy, romantic, and obviously much less crowded.
Wow, that completely changes the perspective on seasonality. Okay, fascinating stuff. Let's dive into the places themselves, starting with those that offer that deep historical immersion. So inside or right next to the Old Town walls.
First up has to be Pucic Palace. It's right in the heart of the Old Town, a proper Baroque palazzo. It was the home of the Pucic family, aristocrats, poets, artists, central figures in the Old Republic.
So you're not just staying in a hotel, you're staying in a piece of noble history.
Exactly. And the atmosphere. Imagine waking up hearing the sounds from the food market in Gundulic Square below, the cathedral bells ringing.
Sounds incredible. And it still have that old world feel. Beams, antiques.
Oh, yeah. Original timber beams. They've got antique phones, these amazing copper slipper baths in some rooms. Proper historical character.
And the location itself is famous, right? The Jesuit stairs?
Spot on. The first floor suites look right out onto them. That's where they filmed the opening scene of the movie Casanova back in 2005.
Oh, way.
Yeah. And being so central, the staff are often locals, Dubrovnik natives, who apparently love sharing stories about the city. Makes it feel less touristy, more personal.
Okay, from a grand palace to something more hidden. St. Joseph's. Tell me about that.
Right. This one's different. It's a 400-year-old townhouse, really tucked away on a side street. Very intimate, only 6 rooms.
Oh, tiny.
Yeah. But it beautifully blends the old and new. You've got the original 16th century stone walls, the beams, but then these super sleek modern bathrooms, walk-in rain showers.
Nice contrast.
But the key thing, and this shows what people sometimes want even in the old town, is that every room has a little kitchenette, discreet, mind you, induction hob, quiet fridge.
Ah, so you can make breakfast, have a simple dinner in, avoid eating out constantly.
Precisely. A bit of self-sufficiency. And get this, for a historical touch, breakfast is served in its sibling property nearby, St. Joseph's Cottage, which dates back to the 13th century.
Okay, that's a lovely detail.
Yeah.
Now, moving just outside the walls, near Pilegate, Heritage Villa Nobile. This one sounds interesting.
It really is. This place is all about personal history. It used to be the home of Maria Rubricius, who was a pianist and intellectual, and her husband, Dr. Gero Pugliese.
And they've kept that connection alive.
Very much so. The 6 rooms are actually named after people in their social circle, like the captain's room, the musician's room.
That's a nice touch.
And they have these little display cabinets around the hotel showing personal items that belong to Maria and Gero. It feels very curated, very personal. Get a real sense of the people who lived there.
In the musician's room. Was that actually where music happened?
Apparently so. It
Yeah,
still
no,
has a piano, and it's where Maria and the doctor used to host these regular Monday evening soirees, musical evenings.
Bringing history to life.
Exactly. And apparently guests from the big hotel nearby often used to come over for those soirees.
Ah, which leads us perfectly to the Hilton Imperial Dubrovnik. The grand old dame, right?
The original, yeah. The city's very first purpose-built hotel opened way back in 1897, designed specifically for those steamship passengers we talked about, the winter visitors.
And its history didn't stop there, did it? It saw some tough times, too.
It really did. It was badly damaged, shelled during the Homeland's War in the early 90s. For a time, it even served as a refugee shelter.
Incredible resilience.
Absolutely. But it had a major renovation in 2018, and now it's back to its former glory. Lots of Art Deco elegance, this beautiful duck egg blue and teal color scheme, and its location right by Pilegate is just superb.
And it had some famous guests back in the day.
Oh, yes. King Edward VIII and Wallace Simpson stayed there in the 1930s. Proper history.
Wow. Okay, one more inside the walls, or rather, on the main street Bota Palace.
Yeah, right on the Straton itself. This is an 18th century building, the Pucic Palace originally, but it's had a very modern, sleek makeover inside.
So a contrast again.
Definitely. You get the lovely old original stone walls, but they're set off by these really striking contemporary paintings by a local artist, Tonko Smokvina.
And what about the practicalities?
Convenience seems key here. Things like having breakfast delivered right to your room door, and there's a communal sideboard with cherry brandy for guests. It's kind of where history meets modern comfort right on the main drag.
Okay, so that gives us a great feel for staying in the thick of history. But what about the other side of the coin? Those looking for maybe more space, modern design, those killer coastal views. Let's shift gears to Lapad and Gruž.
Right, and a prime example of this shift is the Hotel Dubrovnik Palace out on the Lapad Peninsula.
Just one of the bigger ones, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's sizable, over 300 rooms and suites, but the design is really clever. Every single room faces west towards the sea, and they have floor-to-ceiling windows. The view is absolutely the star.
So it's deliberately turning away from the old stone and focusing on the natural beauty.
Exactly. The aesthetic is quite modern, sort of Scandi-inspired, lots of slate grays, teal blues, very calming. And if you want real quiet, their VIP wing has these suites with oak and elm interiors, sliding doors, almost a Japanese feel.
And amenities, beach,
Yeah.
diving.
Yep. Private beach area, and even its own PADI diving center. So very much a resort experience.
What about Hotel Bellevue? It's kind of in between location-wise.
Yeah, it sits on this rocky cliff, sort of halfway between the old town and the main Lapad area. So you can walk to both, which is handy.
Best of both worlds, maybe?
Could be. And its big draw is the direct access down to this lovely, secluded beach below Plaza Bellevue.
Ah, private beach access again, and dining.
They make use of the location. There's a dining room called Nevera, set inside a natural cave, very atmospheric.
Wow.
And then there's Vapor, their fine dining terrace, which gets great reviews for modern Adriatic food, like fresh fish, ceviche, scallops, that kind of thing.
Sounds tempting. Back out on Lapad, there's Hotel Kompas.
Now, the outside of this one looks a bit 1960s retro. Don't let that put you off.
Okay.
Because inside, it's all contemporary, quite minimalist, actually. And again, the focus is just completely on the views, those dreamy sea panoramas. It's the kind of place that inspires Stjaka.
Jaka. We need to explain that word. It's that wonderful Dalmatian concept.
Of doing absolutely nothing, but in a good way. It's like a blissful state of mindful inactivity, often achieved just by gazing at the sea, the perfect antidote to the old town bustle.
Love it. Okay, for ultimate peace and quiet, maybe Palace Natali.
Yes, this one's adults only, tucked away at the base of Mount Sura, so the views are just, well, superlative. It was originally a 16th century summer house for the Natali family, another one of Dubrovnik's wealthy old families.
So another historic building, but with a different vibe.
Yeah, the decor inside is described as more playful, funky sofas, interesting rugs alongside the old stone, very luxurious touches too, diptyque toiletries, some rooms even have private saunas.
Nice. And it respects its history, too.
Oh, definitely. They have this common room called the Cabinet of Curiosities where they actually display a copy of the Statute of Dubrovnik from 1272.
Get out. That's incredible. A copy of the city's founding legal document.
Right there in the hotel. It shows a real commitment to the heritage.
Okay, one last one. Hotel Kazbek in Gruž. Why would someone choose Gruž?
Location, location, location. If you're using the ferries, Gruž is where the main ferry port is. So if you're planning trips to Split or the islands like Korčula, Meljet, Hofar, staying here is incredibly convenient.
Ah, the transport hub. Makes sense.
And Kazbek itself is another beautifully restored historic building, a 1573 summer residence for the Villa Nobile family. It's got that classic-style stone vaulted ceilings in the restaurant where they serve local Croatian food. History plus practicality.
Right, so we've really covered the spectrum, haven't we?
I think so. And the key takeaway, really, for you listening, is that you need to decide what kind of Dubrovnik experience you want before you even think about booking a room.
Yeah, what's your travel personality? Are you all about that intense historical immersion? Do you want to be right inside the walls, surrounded by the buzz, the history, the crowds and the churn?
Knowing that's what you're signing up for.
Or
Have you?
do you lean towards space? Views? Modern comforts? Maybe that coastal relaxation where embracing Draka is practically encouraged?
It's about matching the location to your expectations. Because these places, they're not just beds for the night, are they?
Not at all. They're offering these curated slices of history, from the aristocratic world of the Pucic family to the story of resilience and recovery at the Hilton Imperial.
It's history woven into the very fabric of the stay.
And when you look at places like Heritage Villa Nobile, naming rooms after old friends, or Palace Natali keeping a 13th century statue on display, it just makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does.
How deep must a city's history run when its best hotels double as these living, breathing museums? When checking in means you're not just a guest, but you're stepping right into another perfectly preserved chapter of Dubrovnik's incredible enduring story. Something to ponder.